corner of the map right now. To London is Afro.
And oh my God, there are just a legion of players here. Peekaboo, I've been here the whole time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CDL. We're going to kick off the first matchup of the day between Paris and London, the European battle. And hopefully Paris can match up well because London are one of the top dogs in the CDL. You heard the pre-show, they're top 3 right now. But let's get right into it because London, they finally have their full roster on deck. Gizmo made his way back to the States, and Paul isn't going to be a sub. And speaking of which, it just shows how strong the core of this team is, aBeZy, because of the fact that they can bring in a sub and be some of the top teams in the game, like the LA Thieves. I mean, it can't get better than that. Yeah, even though the roles are similar to come out in 3-0 LA Thieves on 2 Kavuchus in the series, that is mind-blowing, and it is just a testament to how good this London squad really is. You got that right, and taking a look at the players right now, Zero was the top dog at the Major, and every single one of these players have been popping off lately. But when it comes to the game field keys of victory, though, aBeZy, what do you got for us? Well, they got to expand their S&D map pool. They're 3-6 on non-desert siege search and destroys, but I will say this, they are 2-0 in game 5 record, so if they can push it past that first one, I think the stats are looking pretty good in their favor, and they're untradeable. First and non-traded kills, that's 71.3%. Zero alone has a 76% non-traded kill percentage in hardpoint, and of course, keep finding balance in hardpoint. They're second in hold percentage, third in break percentage. They actually have, I believe, a 45% rotational win percentage right now, so clean up those rotations a little bit more, and their holds are looking a lot better.
Gotten better recently.
Yeah. I feel like this team is going to be rejuvenated as well. You know, the squad comes back. They're feeling good. You win with subs against top teams. Hey, it is looking so good for London. But when it comes to Paris, it's not looking so good at all. This team has made a team change after the first major, and Jimbo kind of struggled. So take a look at this roster right now. I mean, it wasn't just Jimbo as well. I mean, I always harp on John and how good he is and all of these other players, but, you know, seeing John with the sniper and search and destroy, he's going to have to pick it up. And same with these other players, nameless. Paris are really going to have to prove it this game.
Yeah, I mean, Temp is coming off of a sensational performance. Yeah. Like, the guy was already putting on for the squad. I mean, honestly, I thought John and Gravity both had their moments. Yeah. Rarely will I ever pin like a series on one person, and we talked about it last week, but I mean, the key to victory is Jimbo just has to do something. Like, the guy's got to step it up, right? They're going up against a London team that has been fantastic. Their work is cut out for them, but Gizmo is coming back after not playing for a bit. So you do have sort of an opportunity here to strike blood on a team that is really trying to get comfortable once again. But for the Paris Legion, there's your game field keys to victory. Jimbo needs to value his life in search and destroy, 0.4 S&D KD this season. He had a struggle of a series, and they were still in that game 5, and he was going out and he was getting blooded. So on top of, like, valuing his life in later in the round, he's going to do it early in the round. Like, just stay alive and be with your teammates. And also likely need to go with 2-3-5 route. London first in hardpoint average, point differential, Paris last. So, you know, gotta get it done in the search and destroys, which we've seen Paris play well, and they won 1 search last week. So it's not like they can't do it.
I'm going to be honest. I like to see a little bit of the good when it comes to the ugly, and taking a look at this roster right here, we have to call it. I mean, we could crack jokes all day, okay? Jimbo did bad. You know, this team, they're not able to win after the major, but the simple fact is they almost won 3v4, which, hey, you got to give them credit where credit is due.
That's true.
Yes, very true. Now, when it comes to the pickups right now, I'm going to be outright honest. London is a top 3 team. Paris is not looking good for them. I'm thinking this is going to be a swift 3-0. aBeZy, do you think that Paris might win a map or 2 or maybe 3?
I'm gonna go with no, but y'all are very mean for calling it a 3v4. I do think there's a lot to be desired out of Jimbo, and after that first series, he definitely has to completely turn it around. But you know what? I think you just need to have some more trust in your teammates on Paris. Stop feeling like you need to do everything yourself, and you can't be just running. These are pro players, okay? This is not the challenger scene where you can get away with kind of just headbutting your way through middle of the map. But I'm going to go with London.
Yeah, this is a career-defining series for Jimbo. I hope he can shut everyone up and go off here. They have a big match, but I'm going to go. I think Paris can take a map, so I'll go 3-1 London as well.
You're so great.
But it'll probably be 3-0.
You're so nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and kick off this European battle. And who's better to bring it in than the lovely European duo that we love to death? Bryson 10, fellas. Good morning, good afternoon where you're from, and take it away.
Thank you very much, Felly. I do feel like we're starting to be typecast here for the European Showdown games, but hey, I'm all here for it. Of course, a long-standing rivalry, London and Paris about to go head-to-head, but very different in the standings at the moment. Big stories for this one, though, Tom. We were talking about it before the game. Return of Gizmo, redemption of Jimbo, and the game's already on way.
Oh, no, we're just not even hanging around here today, Brycey. Always straight into the mixer and straight into this game. But it's a good start for Paris, has to be said. But nonetheless, yes, it's redemption for Jimbo here more than anything, I would say. I kind of half agree with Dan to say it's, you know, one of the series of his career. I think if he just has an okay game here, it's a very tall order to go on to beat London, I would say. Just not a terrible game would be okay from now, and then see how the rest of the weekend goes.
Well, a lot of points for Paris straight out of the gate on the P1. They've been known to do this before, very good at holding this. Actually, last time I say that, Berlin, the last time they played it, they didn't do very well at all. But at the moment, a good amount of points on the board here. The rotations are starting to come in, and it will be London who need to get back onto that scoreboard with 0 points so far, and the slaying not really going their way.
Yeah, just say magnifique, I would say, so far from Paris. But this moment in time, not really able to get much on the board on London, but Paris really, really good start. That P1 hold is so easy to do. You get a couple of kills, you push it out, and all of a sudden it's very hard for the other team to break on through. But this rotation over towards P2 has been solid for London. They're finding the kills in the middle of the map as well, thanks to Gizmo. And it's interesting to see how quick of a series he's going to have. It's coming straight back into the fold. Can he bring that level that we've seen from him so many times? So far, not so bad. 3-3. Paris trying to break on through here, though, Bryce.
Oh, and they've done just about that. They can win these last few gunfights into the hill, though, but London put up a bit of a fight as they do sweep them out eventually. And the most crucial thing to keep a note of here as well is they're already going for this next set of rotations. London still behind, but it will be on Jimbo. Player we've spoken an awful lot about here is going to try and break this through fire, looking for players in Nero, hasn't seen them, gone all the way through the back. And London don't know he's here either.
Yeah, this might work. This might work. Jimbo's in a really good spot to try and do something for his team. But the thing is, they would have got the notification that he is there. Zero spawned over towards the back. However, Nasty did not and will catch Jimbo, unfortunately, from behind. That's one of those where you're a little bit unfortunate if you are Jimbo. But now the opportunity is here for the London Royal Ravens to lock in a good amount of time. And look at the positioning from Gizmo as well. He's got fire in the side alley covered completely. Can London cover the front as the push starts to come on through? John Temp finding kills, though. And it's a clean break for Paris.
Wow, this is great from them so far. Paris really putting what a lot of people think is one of the best hard points in the game to shame. And let's see if they can get a little bit of a more break here, London. They're going to try this one more time. Going to fly through. And John says no thank you. Picks up a two-piece, and he's playing with Afro as well. John shuts him down, says no thank you. Door closed in the face. We'll see you at train yard.
Spawns are there, though, for London to maybe pick up this scrap, but Gizmo eventually is the only one who can shut John down. And that works out perfectly for Paris. You know, we were looking at the maps. We didn't have a good chance to go through them. I'm sure we will after the first one. But at the same time, we were looking at it saying, look, these are not bad maps for Paris whatsoever, but they are also good maps for London. If you're anybody, you're more confident that on the London side, of course, but Paris, these are maps that they are not terrible on. Can they get something going? The push is going to come on through here from Nasty. No backup whatsoever, though. The spawns are going to come in for the Ravens, though, towards the back.
Well, this is a hard point that a lot of people just struggle to get time on a lot of the time here. And while London are in position for this one, still not able to get on it. It's just so dangerous to jump onto it, considering the amount of control you really need to lock it down. But with London getting all the kills into the kill feed, they will be able to. Now 24 seconds should go to them as well. And you can see Paris Legion now. They're moving across this map, trying to make sure they get control ready for P5 and the next set of rotations, bearing in mind that obviously when you go to P5, P1's straight after.
Yeah, of course, you want to keep an eye on this fight over towards the back here. You can already see Zero doing the business towards the back, but it's really about P3 control here for Paris. See if you can get set up. We've seen them specifically get put in the absolute blender last week when we did see this map. We've seen teams starting to get a little bit more of an understanding of what a setup looks like over towards P5. London are the ones fighting for that currently, but Paris are the ones in control of the influential spots. Nasty will find two, but ultimately it's Paris who end up inside the hill at the first ask.
They slide into the lead slowly but surely. Afro looking up to top three here. Here comes a London hit already. Jimbo's going to get one with him, but that will be a trade coming through. And both teams here are really looking for position. Afro just trying to hold this as well. A little bit of a slide cancel, but he manages to just knock it back. And both these teams now going to start thinking about this rotation as well. You can already see Afro going out towards fire. This is a long rotation for him all the way through to try and get that P1 control.
Let's see if the Rootman's going to get paid, though. Shots coming in all over the place. It looks like London are going to be able to lock down the majority of this time. There's a big gunfight gonna go on here, though, as Afro wins it on temp. He was the only one surviving from Paris Legion to find that rotation over, but Afro will get the better of him this time around. Can Ravens lock in a good amount of time? It was 47 points or so that Paris Smash picked up last time around. Jimbo's the only one who can find a kill. London locking this one in very, very nicely so far. Gizmo still alive and kicking inside the point. Can they hold on?
Well, this feels like the last time we saw Berlin. Paris were pretty even about the halfway mark, but if they don't get into P1 and break this, a hill where they famously get most of their time, they are really going to struggle. That is a complete flood out from them as well. Paris are flipped. They are spawning on the other side. I think London have realized this as well, and will be now trying to get in the position for it. Trying to deflect the rest of this pressure. Gravity versus Gizmo, and it's Gravity this time around. There's only one player left into it. It's going to be Zero. They're going to knock him out of that. That's 20 points for them, and we're off for the rotation.
Big fight. Yeah, I was about to say a big fight going to go on here between Temp and who's it coming on over? Well, it's Gizmo, and he's back in the respawn queue. It's going to be Temp that manages to win it, and now the setup is potentially going to be here for Paris. These next couple of gunfights are just as influential. Nasty inside the point. He falls, and Jimbo finds 2. A much better game out of him so far. 13 and 15, 5 spree for him if he can get going on these streaks as well. With given the confidence towards the back he goes, and Gizmo will cut him down. Those spawns towards the back still going to come in here for London.
Still looking for this one, but it will currently be Paris getting those points on board. London are looking for bodies in position to try and break this, but Paris are stacking this heavy. Look how many Paris players have jumped in. Unfortunately, haven't won the gunfights, and it will be Paris once again who are looking to get control of this now. With 37 seconds left, Temp's going slaying. 21 and 10, he's going to be looking for London.
He really has been the outstanding member of this Paris Legion squad, and he's put himself in a great position to help his team on this rotation over towards P3. Holding his shots, doesn't want to give anything away, but there goes Gizmo. He has the spawn to Paris, 20 seconds to go, and you can have that 15 or so seconds of scrap all you want, but Paris, I mean, they're not going to give them that as well. The spawns towards street side come in for Paris. They're in a great spot for P3.
And Paris have found a new lease of life. They are outslaying the London Ravens, even with a return of Gizmo. Jimbo just doing everything he can, and oh my goodness, Afro with a trigger discipline that time around, standing in his face to get it, but will go down to John. It's a rotation for the Legion. They have this now and a chance to go deeply into the lead as Zero runs into the gunfire of Jimbo. And it's all Paris all the time.
Yeah, Jimbo's having a much better game here, and he really needed to. We know the power that Afro has, and he's currently being nullified. 13 and 17. Gizmo's a good return from him so far, but you need the SMGs for the London Royal Ravens to start to step up. Here comes Zero, break on through, but there's no support. Or is there, as Afro finds 2? They break in, spawn still there for Paris.
I'm going to try and do this one. Looks into the wrong corner. Doesn't really matter. Just throws bullets everywhere. Somehow Afro is staying alive. Eventually going down to Jimbo. Jimbo now going to try and push this tempo a bit as well. Eventually will go down to Nasty as both teams are throwing punches left, right, and center in this hard points. And as we can see, with the rotation coming in, it will be London who just have the few points remaining. But we go to train yard and it's all pretty much tied up.
Yeah, that was really actually quite decent for London there, considering what happened with the initial break. Afro does a sensational job towards the back, and he's helping locking down crucial areas. Over towards P4 here as well. You don't want that team who are pushing from train side to get control of upper top 3. It really can be very, very difficult to keep a hold of this spot when you've got somebody on Overwatch just raining bullets on you. But at this moment in time, the Paris Legion are going to find a few, and Temp with the gunny on the Nasty as well. Zero spawning in towards the back, and they get it done here from the back dock spawn.
This is difficult for both teams now to get time on it. They don't want to give away the positioning. Afro, though, going up to tower, looking for him as well. And Gravity's going to go down. Trying to clear this out completely towards Ticket. That stun will let him know that somebody is here. It's going to be Temp, though. Temp versus Afro. It's Temp again. Just gunning down the London Royal Ravens. And bearing in mind that this game has been going on for quite a while, it is very, very little daylight between the pair of them. As we go into P5, it's still very much anyone's game.
Yeah, let's see if Jimbo can stay alive over here towards P3. Needs to slow it down for his team. Needs to lock down this area until the rest of his team can get in a good spot. Over towards top 3, I should say, for P5. Locking this one in as best as you can. These first few kills are crucial, but look at London. They're taking their time. They know that they can't really get much of a purchase without the kills, but there you go. Kills start to come on through. Can Paris get some control? No, they cannot. It's going to be Afro and Zero answering back. One player remaining, and that's John over towards P1. 40 seconds remaining on P5 here, Bryce, and London not in a bad spot to pick up some time.
No, with that spawn, though, that came in from Afro, Zero actually turns around and says, oh, okay, we didn't get the spawn flipped, unfortunately. Exactly what they were aiming for, and now they'll get a little bit of time onto here. Both teams reluctant to really jump on and expose themselves, knowing that the gunfight's going to be more important coming through. Tempo already looking for Zero. Not going to win that gunfight either. More time going through. John trying to get some points here, but London just have bodies on the point. But with 13 seconds remaining, that scrap time will go to the London Royal Ravens. This next fight, though, towards the back of P1. Can Paris stay alive? It's John once again in the driving seat. He knows there are London players already here. He needs reinforcements. Jimbo picks up 2. And at the moment, it looks like Paris could get a significant amount of time on P1.
That was huge from Jimbo. They kept a hold of that scrap time over towards P5 and rotated through train station. Now you've got London spawning towards the back. If you can get your AR set up well, then maybe you can get something going, but they're too busy dealing with Gizmo. Have to realize they're going to be pushing from the other side. Zero from behind to get cleared out. Nasty and Gizmo still alive in and around. Train station can't get it done on his own. Paris Legion looking in great time here. 33 seconds remaining. They can just about head into the lead, I think. Bryce, see if they can lock down every single second.
Well, this is a spawn trap I haven't seen very, very often at the moment. London struggling to get out of train station at all. And Paris Legion are looking to get this next 20 seconds. The rotation could be critical. You can already see players from both teams now heading across that map ready for it. Nasty gonna find 10 for the pack. No, he's not. He's gonna go down before he can do it. And while he's outnumbered here, because you can see the London Royal Ravens have the favorable position, both teams are ready to enact this strike.
That was big from Gravity, finding those kills on the cross on the transition to the hill. Now it's about for Paris. Can you break? London and of course Paris can both win here. These kills are starting to come through for London though. Things are looking comfortable, but they were. John finds a way through, as does Temp. Can he keep it going? Gizmo with an important kill. London still with the more favorable spawns, you would say, but look at the pressure from Legion.
Well, here goes the pressure trying to go for it. Jimbo tries to make a hero play, not going to be able to, and the Paris Legion are away. Gravity gets 1. They need to move now. They have bodies flying into the point. The Legion going to go through. John comes in. John gets 1. Gravity and Temp get 1 as well. They've managed to crack it open. They can actually win it here on this point. The Ravens are down and bleeding. Surely not. They now have to fly across the map. No chance to rest. No chance to get anything else going. They just have to fly into this point and contest, or they will lose the game to Paris Legion. Gizmo in through the window, and down he goes. John gets it. Another one flies in from Trey. And that should be it. The Paris Legion will win hardpoint against one of the best teams in the CDL.
Temp can't believe it. Look at him laughing. I don't understand how that's managed to happen. The breaks just come in so simply for the Paris Legion towards the end. Temp and John go off over towards P2. In that transition, it didn't look good for them. Those fights were really being won by the Ravens, but with 2:47 on the clock, fantastic work from Paris. They break on through. They take map number 1. My goodness.
I tell you something, slaying was the name of the game here. We saw Temp early on. We highlighted him 21 and 10. John started making influential kills, and I'll tell you something, talk about a redemption. Jimbo, 32 and 29. Put your pick'ems in the bin. This is a very different Paris Legion.
Yeah, they outslayed them by 20 single kills there, actually, Brycey. That's huge. Which is like, I mean, you look at the scoreline, you think it should be more comfortable for the Legion. London really not unsung there in that game in particular, but it has to be said, you've got to give credit to Paris Legion. They were finding those breaks time and time again. The kill feed kind of showed that as well. A great game out of Paris. And let's have a look at some of the highlights from that first map, because that is not one I expected to go towards Paris at all. But look at the final 30 seconds here. London not in too bad of a spot. They've got the spawns over towards train. You can find that break on through. Jimbo is just constantly being at the forefront, finding the kills and allowing the rest of the team to pick their way through.
And this is where the collapse come in. Paris Legion were allowed to get close with 3 seconds left.
Timing. And
they managed to execute every team fight they needed. London did not win a gunfight here at any point. They spawn out miles away. They have to come through fire. They have to come through mid-map. They basically had no opportunity to get a trade in. They couldn't get their players in the same position. And essentially, it was run and sprint to the hill. You know, Gizmo doesn't even get in the window here because of a stun. Maybe if he'd gone for the clean leap, he might have got John. Zero has to slide in, not going to work for them. And that is the danger. When you cannot stack up towards a hardpoint or go for a proper break, you basically have to fly in and hope you make a magical play.
And that's what London were kind of banking on there, when they had to really find those moments, which they more often than not have been able to find. They've been able to find those big breaks. That time around, though, not going to happen. Paris Legion find map number 1. And, well, they don't like to do a hard point in a comfortable manner. I think it was last week as well. It was by, what, 2 or 3 points as well against Minnesota, which, I mean, a lot of people looked at that game and questioned whether or not they should have won it. Nonetheless, though, that's another very, very tight game for the Paris Legion. They're, if not, you know, one of the bottom 2 teams, still becoming one of the teams who are entertaining to watch, at least.
Yeah, and for me, you know, and everybody else watching at home, this is very much of an underdog story, you know, coming into this. A lot of people have chalked Paris Legion very much so far. We know the storylines that were going on last week around Jimbo, around the fact that Paris actually took it to a map 5, with Jimbo having one of the worst performances of a debut we can expect. And everybody said, don't worry. Let's see what he does next week. Let's see if it's just a little bit of nerves or just a little bit of playing wrong. Well, I don't know what's happened during the week. But already, Jimbo has come into this one firing on all cylinders. And I have to reiterate at this point, Paris Legion are the heavy underdogs coming into it, especially on the hard point. Going into the S&D, I actually had them a little bit more favorably against it. You know, London are a good S&D teams, but there is some weaknesses there that they can probably exploit. Right now, they're on top of their game.
Yeah. Very much so, but I think, you know, talking on Jimbo as well at the same time, so we have a look at the top performers in Search and Destroy. I mean, anything would be an improvement. I mean, from what was it, 0.49 over the series last week? Just had to come out and have like a decently average game. Went fairly positive there. Really good game out of him, specifically on Berlin as well. Those SMGs are so important at the forefront. But speaking of S&D, Gravity has been influential for this team so far. A 1.3 from him, and Afro with a 1.1. Those are your top performers.
Well, let's see if the Legion can go into the lead here. Of course, that is not something we expected from a back to full strength Royal Ravens roster. We said, you know, the return of Gizmo, a lot of people was thinking, you know, Paul X did a great job. Don't get me wrong, Paul X was a delight. Great, it's the reason he's now on a different team. But the return of Gizmo was something every London fan was waiting for, and he has returned, and he did play well. But against the Legion, the rivalry is the old rivalry from the CDL. They have faltered at the first step.
They have. It's a disappointing one for them. They'll know that Berlin is really, really good. I mean, their record on that map specifically was 5-1. Now they're 5-2 with an average point difference of 63 as well. So they've somewhat dominated that one, but just not on song in the slaying department. And I don't know if that's like, you know, if you can read into it a little bit more when you look at teams like FaZe and OpTic. When you look at London comparatively to them, their hardpoint records are really good. But going into it, they very much rely on their ability to slay. Yes, okay, their gameplay, we've talked about it before at the beginning of the season as a whole. Their rotational side of things was not great, and they were really relying on those breaks. The rotations have definitely got better, but they still somewhat rely on that slaying ability to close out games. In that scenario, they got outslayed. And that's typically what they've been doing when they've been playing up against OpTic or FaZe. They typically do get outslayed, and that's their biggest problem. If they get outslayed, what do we then have? It becomes a little bit of a problem. You come to rely on it, which they can do for the most part. They are very, very good slayers. I wouldn't like to take a gunfight against any of them in ranked play. But when you lose that slaying fight, it starts to come apart a little bit, does the hard point. And in that scenario, I absolutely would not have expected them to get outslayed as heavily by Paris, at least anyway. It was a 20 kill difference in the end. And it kind of falls apart a little bit. So yeah, it's something for the Ravens to work on. I don't think they'll be too concerned with that one. It is Gizmo's first game back in, you know, getting things up and running again. But it has to be said on the shoe on the other foot there. Paul X didn't really have much time to make that adaptation either. So maybe just a flat series so far out of the London Royal Ravens overall. But they need to turn around here in the Search and Destroy.
Well, looking at the statistics for this one, the First Blood is going to be an interesting one to look at here. We have 12th place and 11th place in First Blood percentage wins for both these two teams. Of course, it is slightly favouring, I think, maybe the Ravens here a bit, but Temp, map 1, a 1.61, 73% non-traded kill. There has been a lot of talk about Temp recently in the social media. And it's simply that we think Temp deserves a better team than Paris. Well, what if the Paris team is also good? Because that's what's happening right now.
Uh-oh, watch out. Has he got it with the sniper as well? Yes, he does, Gizmo. There's your head gone. Straight away, kicking it off very, very well for the Paris Legion is Temp. And yeah, he has been there. I mean, he's been their talisman, hasn't he? So he finds another onto 0. It's a 4v2 in favor of Paris Legion to kick things off. Not the start that Ravens would have wanted. Jimbo gets the better of Afro. And John says, see you later. That's a clean wipe. Paris Legion wanted the good.
Well, very quick start from the Legion. And bearing in mind, coming into this one, I know the analyst desk, they put their predictions down. They thought they were being gracious giving Paris Legion a map. They already opened up the Search and Destroy. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but looks like a completely different team from anything we've seen in the CDL so far from Paris.
I did want to kind of touch on your point there. about Temp, and it's like this Paris Legion team through this series looked very, very good, but if they don't continue to improve, then other teams will be looking at him. He's having such a good year. Can he continue it here in round number 2?
It's a snipe off. Temp decides no.
Uh-oh.
Here comes a big push. No, he's
down.
just waiting for it. He's not seen anyone yet, but he is going to fire. Look, John actually knows that one as well. He's been watching the VOD. Already looking for it. John,
oh my God,
hangs through the middle of the map. Says thank you very much. Now looking up towards top broken.
Oh, this is
Zero taking windows. Trust me, I got caught on more than once. There's only one player left. It's Zero. So 1 versus 2. He's going to have to try and do something here. I've seen Temp. But no! John shuts him down before he can get that shot off. It's not going to be good enough as Paris Legion go into the lead. John got 3 that round as well. Unreal. They just look so confident.
I mean, Nasty gets gunned immediately. John just flies at him and, like, you know, you talk Pika's advantage or whatever, but to have the wherewithal to even think that Nasty would be there is something else. It's not a corner I see too often, but Nasty gets caught out, and immediately, as soon as he falls, the middle of your map is wide open if you're the Ravens, and Paris Legion just pierce straight through it. And all you've got left is the 2 guys watching the flank at the back, and all of a sudden, you've got no eyes on bomb. It's a dangerous prospect. Paris Legion 2 to the good here, Brycey. It's not looking too good for Ravens at the moment, but it's a big hit over towards A.
Let's go straight into this one. No slowing down, no waiting for it either. Might even go for a fast plant if they can get control of this very, very quickly. Nasty at the back, gonna try and shut him down. Jimbo's just trapped in a corner. Temp not able to help him out very, very quickly. Nasty with 1 health, by the way. Eventually will be challenged, but managed to get the second kill. Nasty completely shutting down this push. There's John again. A 6-0 streak for John. Knows 1 more is at the back. And now they're a little bit trapped here. They're going to have to find a way out of this, Paris.
Got to play for the kill, surely, for John. Oh, good shots from Afro. That would have been the glide bomb in for John, which would have been huge. And now they know where Gravity is as well. This is a 1v2 for him. That is not going to be the easiest thing to pull off. Rocking a hard place springs to mind.
Well, has he slipped the net there? Did Zero see him? Did Zero see him? He's going to come through against him. And he has got Afro so far. Back to a 1 versus 1. And he plays this patiently, waits for his health to come back. And now Zero's thinking, if he's not here, where is he? Will Gravity come back to B? Zero's going for the rotation. No, he's going back towards B again. There's going to be a fight here, surely, any second.
He heard him.
Yeah,
Zero, he has him. Yeah, he hears him come over. Gravity not running anything to quieten him down there, basically. And in that scenario, it's an easy enough kill for Zero to pick up. Just hears him jump back up. I don't hate the play, but he's stomping around Tuscan there, bro. I mean, I could hear him. so Zero definitely can.
Well, I think what he was trying to do was trying to get Zero out of position, realistically.
Yeah.
Played it very, very patiently. Didn't go back to challenge after he got that first kill. And he just waited. He was hoping maybe Zero rotated back towards A and get a clean plant down. And yeah, he probably thought that, especially because of the fact that, you know, if you don't have an Ninja on you, essentially are going to make a lot of noise stomping about.
Afro with that first gunfight. Gizmo finds a second. Jimbo with the push through, and Afro says thank you very much. Jimbo just gets caught out in the middle. They know exactly where Temp is. It's a quick round for the Ravens, answering back very, very quickly. Just opening it up with those first couple of gunfights, and all of a sudden it becomes that little bit easier just to have that trade battle.
We are all even again. It's been a very, very quick round, that one. What happened when a strategy doesn't work for your team on attack, and you can see right now both these 2 teams are trying to figure each other out, essentially. They're saying, hey, what do we have left in the playbook? Do we split and play normally? Do we go for the A push? Do we go for a fast B? And with Paris on the attack again, it's looking like a more standard play from them. Gravity watching towards the middle. You can see Temp and Zero, but it will be Temp who's crouching down waiting for it. In goes to Standy, knows he's here. Fails to sprint through it. Jimbo managed to get 2 somehow. Unbelievable. Nasty eventually has to take that one down, but he's now left in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, good luck with this one. I think it just becomes that little delay of Afro trying to break through the door on the left-hand side. It becomes very, very hard. Nasty with a sniper out. Are they going to push him? No, they are not. Don't give him anything, and well, he's... This is achievable, you know, if you can pick off Gravity inside of Broken. There he goes with the snipe. Temp left in a 1v1.
Temp has to look. Temp has to look. Nasty's looking for him as well. He's found him. He's found Temp for the 1 versus 3. Temp dancing, and he's going to get taken down. Nasty on the 5 streak. The 1 versus 3 shuts it down with the sniper and the MP40. And London will go into the lead now on the S&D, and that is ridiculous.
No, the Paris fans say, Sacre bleu, how did we let this one happen? My goodness. That is ridiculous from Nasty. Goes around, picks up the sniper, there's the first shot, and knows exactly why one of the players are going to be. Everybody who plays this map knows the bomb is down at A, there is someone top broken. Pre-aims gravity, just gives him the slightest of angles through the wall, and it's a 1v1 with Temp. It comes down to a little bit of luck, a little bit of awareness, and it is Nasty who comes out on top. That's a huge, huge round in the grand scheme of things. It puts Ravens back in the lead.
Oh, aggressive defense here coming in from Paris Legion, by the way. They've stacked. They have stacked completely. John somehow just gets completely through. Has found one as well. He should be traded out here any second. No, that player got taken down as well. They've backed off. It was Nasty who was close.
He just backed up. There was so much presence from Legion over towards that side. He has to give it up.
Well, now the pressure's going to come on Temp with the pistol. Temp finds one with the pistol. Not going to be able to find the second, though.
It's good enough.
2 versus 3 here for the Ravens. Nasty trying to make a play towards the back here, looking for Gravity, but Gravity lays down and says, all right, come and chat if you fancy it. And now Gizmo would have to pull off his own 1 versus 3 to win this round for the Ravens.
Oh, good shots from Gravity coming on through. And the problem is there for Gizmo, I mean, Nasty pushes up with the bomb. I wouldn't have hated to maybe go for a plant in that 2v3 scenario, but Paris know exactly what you're doing. I think it's easy for me to say when I can see the mini-map and exactly what's going on, but
I think it's too vulnerable of a spot, if I'm being honest.
It really is.
It's just too easy to take down. And when they lost that first player, Temp took them and basically took away their control. They were hoping for extra players to keep an eye out, because you have to watch top radio. You have to watch anybody coming through church. You know there might be a player rotating back towards the back. A lot of places to look to try and defend that bomb planter and make sure that you don't get taken out early. And as soon as you lose a player, it's one less alley that can be covered.
Oh, Gravity was ready and waiting because London just tried to do the exact same thing. John kind of gets caught out a little bit there. Sprinting in the middle of nowhere. That's going to be bombed down as well. Paris Legion going to have to fight back for this.
They're coming under pressure. Paris Legion, though, do have the number advantage. Temp is going to go for this again with a pistol. Finds Afro, says thank you very much. And now Nasty has to try and get another clutch out of this one. Another 1 versus 3, and they're going to double chal him. Not even going to get the first one here at all, and Paris Legion will get that round and move heavily into the lead.
And that's huge from Jebbo, to be honest with you. I'm not 1,000,000% sure the route that he did take in at the beginning, but he finds his way into church nonetheless and finds the kill on one of these players around the back. That's the problem, though. If you do make that big push over towards A on the defensive side, if you're London in that scenario, you can be flanked through church if nobody's watching it. And in that scenario, he finds that breakthrough, finds that little gap, finds that kill from behind, and all of a sudden, even though London, yeah, okay, you're in a 2v3, but the extra part of that, you know Jimbo's behind you somewhere. It's such a hard one to win, so it's 2 rounds in a row for the Paris Legion. London answer back. Look at this hit in the middle.
Oh, it's going to go down as well. Paris Legion are smelling blood in the water.
Jimbo's
They are being aggressive all over the map. Jimbo and Gravity combining. And Nasty's like, what is going on? I can't keep trying to clutch this. Can he do one better, though? The 1v4 is now on the table.
No shot, right?
I don't know. Nasty could eat again. He's got to find that first player, though. This is the issue he has. He doesn't know where anybody is right now, which means he has to check every single corner. He has to try and make a kill, and Paris are like statues. They are not moving. They are patient. Out comes the auto. It's the head, and they're not going to be able to get anything going there as well. Paris Legion 1 round away now from going 2-0 up in this series.
And again, it's that massive push through the middle of the map, but Jimbo finds that first kill and it's head down sprinted, exactly what he was doing last week, but this time he's winning the gunfights. He's shooting back, finds the fight over towards the back against Zero as well. That first blood's kind of inconsequential to a certain degree because of that push that comes through. If London can answer back, they aren't able to. Jimbo finds that route through once more. 5-3. Bearing in mind there was a 1v3 in there from London. This really...
This could have been a 6-2.
Yeah, it should be over.
Well, Zero with the sniper here is going to try to deflect any of this pressure towards it. Temp is counter-sniping.
Look at the mid-map control from London.
Oh, that nade's going to fly out as well. The problem being for Paris now is they're a little bit trapped. He can't go for this. Afro going to try this one more time. Already, Temp's going to go down. Nasty's made a huge play towards window, but Jimbo has managed to get Afro through in a P5. And is now going to rotate back. It looks like Paris may be thinking about a rotation, but there's a fight gone down. It's Jimbo and Gizmo.
This is the thing.
Jimbo, oh, he's managed to get a hit onto him. He's going to have to back off as well. Nasty is going to find him. This comes down to a 1v1. Technically, this will be a 1v2 for Nasty. surely he can't clutch again against Paris.
Jimbo does a great job once more. London just aren't reading it. As soon as he finds that kill on Afro, you've got to think, well, what was Jimbo doing last week? He was just sprinting. He did that, got round behind 2 of them. Now it's a 1 versus 1.
Heavy footsteps flying about. Gonna have to find him. He's gonna check every single corner. He knows the corner phases well, but he checks it, but not enough. And Paris Legion have won the S&D. They go 2-0 up against this team that many consider top 3. This is an upset and a half we are seeing laid out on our very screens, Ton, and I am here for it.
Well. I mean, look, we really did not expect this coming in. Paris Legion, on occasion, look like a really decent team, and it's really starting to come to fruition now against some of the big boys. There you go. There's a 6-3 win, and as said, there was a 1v3 from London in there as well. A brilliant one at that, but Nasty's 11-7 with that 1v3 counts for nil as Tuscan falls the way of Legion. As far as it goes for London, that is their ban, is Tuscan. Usually they choose not to go that route this time around, and they get punished for it 6-3. I probably, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, oh, London trying out different maps here. Be that at your peril against Paris so far. 3-point game in map number 1, but a very convincing search and destroy. And hey, look, Paris are looking good. Much better out of Jimbo. I mean, he's kind of doing the same thing to a certain degree. He is just running forward at all times, but this time around we're seeing him win the gunfights. It wasn't working out for him last week. I know it's a simple sort of, it's not very analytical from me, I'll be saying that, but at the same time, look, it just seems as if he's winning these gunnies this time. Well, no, it isn't, but it just seems like he's winning them this time, and he wasn't winning any of them last week, and now all of a sudden he's going against some of the best SMGs in the game and getting the job done. I don't know if they maybe adapted their gameplay around him a little bit just to give him that little bit of extra support. Have they fixed out their pacing issues? Very clearly, the answer is yes, to a certain degree, because Jimbo is there, but he's not always there on his own. He's not always there making those fights on his own. And when he is winning these gunfights this week.
Yeah, and I think it takes something else. I think it's confidence, right? I think it realistically, Paris Legion are confident coming into this one, and they're taking gunfights. They are making plays, that he's being aggressive on the map, and that's something we don't usually see. But something we do see, actually, something that's just come out, the Team CDL packs, by the way. These look fantastic, and you can pick them up now. You can look like the pros, play like the pros with the new CDL team packs. You get your operator skin, home and away variants, your weapon camos, your watches, your emblems, and your calling cards for your favorite squads. Ton, which one are you taking?
You know, I've already got the Ravens one. Well, they hooked me up, but honestly, they all look really, really good. I think for me, I do like the Ultra one as well. Completely EU bias aside, I really like the purple. I think they're really good, and it's a well-known fact. It does give you extra aim assist. Don't tell anybody else that, but if you grab a hold of it, you shoot back faster and quicker and straighter. It's great.
Well, hey, there may be some people picking up the Paris Legion one after this game.
Oh, well, you never know.
We'll have to find out how that all goes down. Of course, we're going to go for a quick break here in the CDL. When we come back, London versus Paris, map 3.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Welcome back to the CDL, and we are staring down the barrel of a potential upset. Paris Legion currently leading 2-0 against the London Royal Ravens. A lot of the community, a lot of the experts had London this one hands down, but that is not the way it is played out. Hardpoint so far, all the way, and it was a close game in Middley. I think it was 250-247, but then the Legion come on to search and destroyed, and that was actually quite a comfortable win for them, Ton.
Yeah, it should have been a lot more comfortable. It was actually nasty with the 1v4, not the 1v3. I think it must have been one of the gunfights that happened in the trade. They just didn't see it on the kill feed towards it. So
they're going to fire us now.
They're going to have to get rid of us. We do apologize.
Get the Reddit comments going.
Nonetheless, ridiculous 1v4 from Nasty is the only thing that makes it even remotely close. So yeah, for Paris Legion, very, very solid map number 2 out of them. And now we're heading into Control and Kavutu. We know well, typically anything can happen on this one. As far as records go, though, not necessarily the best for the Paris Legion of the London Royal Ravens. 5-3, still not the best. As said, this map, it is one of those where you can go up against another team, and it's very, very easy to leak this one. It has to be said.
Well, this is a very important mainly for a start. Jimbo 1.21, already having such a better get, probably more kills than they actually got last week in a best of 5 series, but we'll have to see how they go into Control. And the Paris Legion will be sitting there thinking, hey, if we can get this one nailed down, we're in a great position already. Temp opening up, trying to find the second one, not going to be able to. Nasty shuts him down before he can do more damage.
John inside the point. It's all about boat control at the beginning of this round, and maybe not trying to give too much up towards B. If you're the defensive side, Nasty will find another kill over towards top boat. Jimbo this time around rocking the AR. The player has slipped the net over towards B, and Zero will just quite happily take up some free time here.
Trying to get into B here, and Jimbo somehow just trying to go toe-to-toe with Zero. Actually goes for the distraction. Says, hey, John, come in here and give us a little bit of a hand to clear him out.
Crucially for London, they kept control of boat. They're getting control over towards A. Temp's gonna have to have a look at it. Can he be traded? Yes, he can. Afro will find that kill bottom towards A. Looking towards the map, this is good control coming in from the London Royal Ravens. Legion really not too near it. John's the only one who can really be influencing this one, and well, not anymore because he's been wiped off the map. Gizmo, good work up top 3 here. That should be it. Realistically, going over towards the London Royal Ravens. Paris might have another look.
And this is where it gets difficult. This first push from London. They'll be trying to get through the back, trying to get through green and make a little bit of a progress. But every single kill that goes down is going to be detrimental for London if they can't get the bodies in the area they need to. They're going to try and break through. Afro's done well with a 2-piece, but eventually gets shut down. Nasty now looking for top ring control. Gonna run straight into a player, but unfortunately he's outnumbered here and he hasn't got any of the kills. Nasty needs reinforcements. Fortunately, the rest of the Ravens arrive and they're trying to get him as well, eventually taking them down. They have opened a gap.
I think to clear out this one guy who's left in their spawn, they're in a really good position to make this push coming on through. Jimbo trying his best to slow it down. Will do just enough. But the Ravens here look towards these kills as well. About a 5-life deficit for Paris Legion to come back from. These are good kills from the front. Now, if Legion can't fight ground from behind, this is really difficult if London get inside of it.
That tank just holding it down at the moment. John throwing every single bullet in there, trying to get a little bit of a wall bang coming through, but Trey picks up 2 in mid-map.
Yeah, Zero's doing big work. Got to lock down this mid-map, but he's doing such a great job at doing that so far. He eventually is going to fall, but is the damage already done here? It's only 1 tick over towards B, but the lives are more concerning for Paris. Look at that kill feed. It's all London Royal Ravens 4 dead.
Nasty's feeling it so much. Challenge there with 20 health and a pistol. And it's complete shutdown, and now Zero's going to try and get a position to just cut off any reinforcements. This game is done. And it looks like London are going to get this first attacking round done and dusted, and that was a dominating performance for this team. It's something that they needed to get back into this game.
They're really good at doing that, all London. They do it quite often. They will find the attacking rounds. And it's just about clearing out the flank and making sure you cannot be flanked on that point. And then from there, it's not that difficult. You can find those first couple of kills, and then Paris Legion have to kind of filter all the way through the front. And from there, it's very, very difficult. And something else I just wanted to point out that London did there, they could have stacked that when there was 4 dead and got that round done and dusted very, very quickly. But because Paris are still filtering through this, still trying to find it, they want to extend that lead in terms of the kills. and they do just that. It's a very, very healthy lead on the kill front, and they should be looking good for round number 5 defense if we do get that far.
They certainly should. Well, we've heard Paris Legion before, but never a confident Paris Legion. Let's go for a listen in with Paris.
I'll say anything first cut. He's already, First cut got me. He's still first cut.
Third cut, I'm dead to him. Try. There you go. He top third.
Play the fuck out of your life.
Yeah, one top third. He pushed up.
Top third, nasty. One shot.
Ring pushed up or safe. Watch out.
And top boat. Nice, nice. One more
top right.
Pinch beat, Afro dead.
Nice. One more
Gizmo top right. Gizmo top right.
Found Nate top right.
One shot.
Made it out, made it.
He's one shot. He's behind their stairs. Behind their stairs.
He's still channeling, bro. He's right side. Good job.
Nice.
We can still do this.
There's gonna be another one top boat. Yo, he's our tank.
He's our low cliff. Our low cliff.
And low cliff.
That's our tank. Our tank. One shot.
Mid tank, bro. Mid tank. I'm one shot. I'm trying to. He's ring nasty.
Yeah, I don't see Afro here.
He's ring nasty.
My front cliff dead.
Nice. One more low cliff.
One shot. I'll see low cliff. Low cliff dead.
Two.
Could be in radio. Could be our mid door. Mid door.
What's up?
Dead. We're missing one. Okay.
He's our tank.
We do.
One shot. Dead.
Nice. I'm pushing up the cage. Okay.
I'm playing kills as well.
What? Well, smooth and slick comms there from the Paris Legion. They were faltering under the guns of the Ravens for quite a while, but eventually managing to get some map control and now looking to move on towards A. They haven't lost an awful lot of lives in the process of that, even if it did feel quite one-sided, Tom.
Yeah, really did. I mean, I was thinking to myself, what am I going to talk about when we come back out? And, well, London were putting them in the blender. But Paris Legion, they managed to find a breakthrough. Can they do anything here with 3 seconds remaining? Tempest momentarily left all alone. Shots coming in from Gravity, but Zero wipe it out. Can Paris get there in time? The answer is no. London Royal Ravens will find a second round. But what Ravens did really well there, once again, it's all about pushing on that flank through circle over towards that P1 hard point for you guys at home. And finding those flanks and finding those angles. There's so many different spots for the defensive side to cut off the lanes on the entry, get the shots inside of A as well. It's such a difficult time to try and get a hold of anything. You know that if you lose 4 men on the map immediately and you allow that map control to come in for the defensive team, you're in for a really rough round. And that time around, that pretty much happened for the Paris Legion the majority of the time. That was tough.
Well, at the moment, oh my goodness. A great grenade there from Gravity. Takes out 2. And the Ravens don't really have anywhere to go at the moment. They are looking to make a move towards B. You can see it on the mini-map. Nasty, though, wants to get out of spawn. He's careful not to give away too many lives. Even Zero playing it slow as well. You see Jimbo up top. He's eventually going to be taken down. Didn't know Gravity was up there either. And Afro is trying to have an MP40 versus an auto fight, and he's going to win it. Somehow takes down Gravity. Gizmo desperately trying to back him up so his teammates doesn't get shot in the back.
Temp's done well to survive here. Yeah, he is going to find him eventually, not before Zero falls. And there you go, allows the rest of Paris Legion to come on through. So really good work by Temp there, just the distraction. And ultimately, oh my goodness, Gizmo. Great shots coming in again. But really, when it comes down to B, it's all about that P1 control. Getting a hold of that, clearing out the middle of the map, or at least watching the middle of the map from that point is so crucial if you're in their attacking team. And of course, for the defensive team to have that to then counteract back to the B push that now has come on through. London not quite making a dent in it here, but they've got plenty of positioning. They're posturing to try and get a hold of it.
Well, it's all about sitting there with an auto pre-aiming. Might be John, though, who makes a big move here. If he can get around to the back of the ring, he's gone down as well. It will be London Royal Ravens who start to get onto the point, and Afro is taking fire. But now they're going to try and hold this down for him. Eventually, though, Temp and Gravity have combined to just shut down the players, though. Afro says, doesn't matter. I'll guard my own back. Has been contested. He's going to actually try and chow this as well. Doesn't matter. Gizmo's got 2 from top ring. And that is London with B control. And they're going for A at the same time. Paris Legion are faltering here massively. 3 rounds of control left, and some of the players haven't even hit double digits.
Nasty inside the point. He is going to fall. Now, this is still doable for Paris Legion. They're only down 1 life. If they can clear Ravens out, they're in such a good spot. Jimbo gets aggressive. Nobody else around him, though. In that situation, you need to just play slow. Clear them out as best as you can. You know they already have purchase on the site. Almost some good shots, and they're not in too bad of a position here at Paris, but you need to clear London out.
They're looking to try and lock down this site here, but London are spread out. They have got good position. Top boat again is Gizmo, but he will be taken down by Gravity before he can do any more damage. And that time is ticking slowly but surely.
He's playing a phenomenal role here, just staying alive, just being a pain in the arse, essentially. He's just always running, and behind he is eventually going to fall. So no front pressure here for the London Royal Ravens. Still though, only 9 lives remaining here from Paris. Looking to try and find the wipe. Gizmo will find another one at the Jimbo.
big fight. That's a huge fight for them now. There's only one player who can do the damage. It's Gravity. Gravity trying to stay alive for it at the same time. As the lives slowly but surely tick away for the Legion. Time, though, slightly on their side. If they can do something here, unfortunately, they're all going to fall. No more respawns remaining. It's hero or zero. They need to get something going here, but Afro already cuts one down. Sees Jimbo as well, says thank you very much for that two-piece. And it will be tempted to go for the challenge, but Gizmo cuts him down, and it's Gravity top green. And that's going to be all she wrote. There's just no way for him to do this. And it will be the Ravens to strike back in this series with a clean 3-0 on the control.
Some way to strike back as well. A really, really confident performance out of the London Royal Ravens there. That is as good as a control as you're likely to see. When it comes down to GvU2, it is a very, very hard attack. The London Royal Ravens do not make it look hard there. And honestly, they just did everything absolutely right. I think Paris were kind of, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but it felt like at the important moments they didn't slow down. Like in that scenario, you lose B super quickly. It is good play by the Ravens, but you have to clear them out of that side of the map if you are the Paris Legion. You need to find the next couple of kills. And look, I don't want to get on the Jimbo hate train. He's had a really great series so far, but so many times there in that scenario where you need to just find kills, you need to just find some sort of control. He's sprinting forward and just maybe slowing it down in those moments. So when you're at that point of where you're trying to defend A, you do need to push them out to then get them in their spawn to potentially win that round. But you need to find the kills in the middle of the map to then be able to push them out. You can't just sprint into them. So in that scenario, not just completely his fault, it was just a couple of occasions here and there, but overall that's what Paris were doing. They were just maybe getting a little bit too aggressive on that defensive side of things when they didn't have London cleared out. London very comfortable though in control. They'll be very, very happy with that.
Yeah, they certainly will. As when we look through the highlights of this map, you can see an awful lot of London Royal Ravens in the kill feed. Temp not having a great game. You see here in this highlight, it was 4 and 10 in the second round of control. When we saw him on the hard point, the other respawn game mode, was already 21 kills to the good with only 10 deaths. And they just never seemed to really be able to get anything going for them. They were just being outgunned most of the map here, and it looked like a much more polished London team. You saw when they took top ring control and waited and stacked ready for B, they had a strategy in place. They just needed to win a couple of gunfights for it, and Paris didn't really seem to have an answer. On their attack, they were getting beaten back into spawn for quite a long time. On the defense, they were being beaten back onto spawn for quite a long time. It was very much the London Royal Ravens showing why they are the higher ranked team on control, but this match is nowhere near finished.
It definitely isn't, especially as we're heading over to Tuscan Hardpoint next, which is once again another good map when it does come down to Ravens. But I mean, all Hardpoint maps are pretty good for the Ravens typically. So, you know, as far as statistics go, it really does still favor Ravens. Like, I think a lot of people would have said to yourselves, probably a 3-0 here. Like, I know that on the desk, we're giving them maybe one map, but it's still not out of the remit. It wouldn't be a complete surprise to see Ravens come back and win this series. Look, Legion had a really, really good start. But as far as confidence goes, look, the record there for Paris Legion, specifically on GvU2, 2-2, but on control in general, they're 2-7. They haven't won on Tuscan at all. GvU2 is the only map they have won out of the 2-map pool, of course. Still a 3-0 is something that maybe stings a little bit. So I'm curious how map 4 comes up for them. Are they still riding high off those first 2 maps?
Yeah. You know what? They might be, but we've got to talk about Afro coming into that one. He had a great game on the control. Going into this hard point, though, this is where he's kind of made a name for himself. These respawn game modes, the slide cancelling is off the chain, and just gunning everybody left, right, and center. As you can see, just a force to be reckoned with. The MP40 doing work, and even the auto I think he picked up off somebody else, and just shutting down Paris at every opportunity. If London want to have a chance in this hard point, it needs to be firing on all cylinders. We have seen the Legion, and players like Temp shut him down.
Yeah, he really hasn't necessarily been at the races so far as Afro, but heating up a little bit in map number 3. Did it just take the London Royal Ravens that little while to shake off the cobwebs? That's what you got to ask if you're on the side of Paris and on the side of London. Did it just take them a moment to get into this series? Problem is they have made it difficult for themselves. They now need to complete the reverse sweep if they want to take home the W. But yeah, Afro, guy's a unit. I mean, so many times, you know, I've had conversations on typical podcast that, of course, in the Call of Duty scene, I've heard guys sort of saying, is he one of the best SMGs in the game, up there with Shotzzy, up there with Simp, those guys, as you so often talk about. He is the name in those conversations, and that says a lot about the London recruitment, especially when it comes in from last year for Afro, and then the guys in this year as well. They've really started being leaning into towards that challenger side of scene side of things. It's been working out, especially in Europe. I don't know how many times we've talked about the European challenges here in Brycey. We know that it's still full of talent, but a lot of them are starting to get picked up now. And if you're some of these organizations, you look at London, teams like this, and sort of say, right, okay, we need to tap into that potential. So far, so good for the Ravens overall, but not necessarily in this series. They still need to find 2 to bounce back. But as I mentioned, this is not a bad map for them whatsoever. 4 and 2, Paris Legion 1 and 3. You'd like to favor the London Royal Ravens on this one, and it will have to be Afro to get the job done. What a control that was out of Afro, especially on Gavudu with a sub.
Yeah, but they have to have another big game here. The London Royal Ravens are still only 1 map away from losing this entire series, Tunt. They are still only just holding on in this game. A great control does not a series make. They need 2 more maps back-to-back to have this one. As we kick it off straight into this hard point, we jump on board with Afro, the man of the moment.
Yeah, let's see if he can continue this form as we head over towards Tuscan. Initial break's going to come on through, and for Afro is just looking to try and get that flip coming on through, or just the roots will do also. There's John, he's going to fall. Royal Ravens with a decent amount of purchase over towards P1.
Already see Afro just waiting for anybody to come through you. Says thank you very much, but his teammate takes it away from him in the end. And just being aggressive, just trying to get something done here. John will eventually shut him down, but there are reinforcements from the Ravens. And that is going to be nasty, eventually on a 3 streak.
Paris all through the front door
letting
here.
them move.
Gotta get through the guns of Ravens, and they do so eventually. It's a bold hit, but they get away with it. Afro, once again, just trying to dance around you. He will eventually get taken down, and Paris will break on through, but not before London can find 33 points over towards P1. But look at these spawns coming in here for London. Paris trying to flip that as quickly as they possibly can. They are going to get the kills towards the back, though. Big kills from Jimbo. They can find another here over towards P2. That would be massive, and takes down Afro. Here come Paris.
Jimbo having a very, very good respawn already. Looking for these players back and forth. Knows his teammates have got to watch over him as he tries to stay alive. And the point somehow gets Gizmo. He must have been weak, but the Ravens are there in force and will take control away from them. Temp now looking for Nasty up top. Eventually throws an aid and gets that kill as well. But can't move. He needs reinforcements to come through. They're expecting a push from Afro. And Afro manages to get 2, and it keeps dancing around. Gravity eventually ends up taken down, but while Paris are holding this spawn, they are not getting an inch of space to actually move anywhere.
And eventually it looks like they may be able to find a little breakthrough, but the big gunfight going over towards P3. That's what we need to concentrate on now. Jimbo has slipped the net. Got aggressive throughout, what, 25 seconds or so on the clock, and now he's lingering, he's hiding. Is he going to get caught of 0, though? No, he isn't. Finds the first kill, needs reinforcements as soon as possible. Do well to survive, but only for a little while. Very well played by the Ravens. They cleared them out. There should be P3 rotations and P3 control for the London Royal Ravens. I say that.
It's a very big kill. Looking for 0 as well. Not going to be able to do it, but they do have the spawns, and they're trying to get into position very, very quickly before the Ravens can hit them. Here comes his hit. It's nades and stuns raining down onto Legion. Gizmo going to try and get his teammate there as well. Gravity, though, shutting it down. Nasty gets completely obliterated. And the Ravens are now going to have to try and make one more break, but it's so horrible to get this one.
Jimbo just got the best time in the world I've ever seen. Afro falls, but Nasty finds a break on the way through. Does he have any support for the rest of his team? John's the last one. Gizmo trades it out. That's 17 free seconds for the London Royal Ravens. Unless Temp has a little look at it here for that scrap time. Who's going to win the fight? It is going to be Temp, so that's big for Paris Legion. They would have been staring down the barrel for about a 20-point deficit, but as it goes, you're heading over towards the next hill. You've got rotations. You're in a good spot. You're only 2 behind.
Well, I say that, but it looks like the Legion are dominating the kill feed. They are not going anywhere. Jimbo picking up 2 again, and the Ravens are wondering what on earth is happening. Eventually, though, it will be 0 who picks up a couple of kills, allowing them to get back into church. Gravity's going to go down as well, and it's going to be all the Legion out towards field. Hard break for them here at this point in time, and they're going to have to try and figure out a way through. Not looking easy.
It isn't. London just put a really good breakdown from the back, and say that, both these two teams have been breaking each other quite easily, and ultimately that's 3 kills on the board there for Paris Legion. 0-1 to back with 2 on the outside, though. That'll force Temp away. A good hold so far for the Ravens. They're going to pick up the majority of the time here. This rotation coming in over towards maps and radio, though, of course, is important. It's very much a hard hill to lock down, but if you can find those 4 kills, if you can get yourself a nice setup, you're not in too bad of a spot. Bit of a split spawn coming in here. Those final couple of seconds going to go over towards Legion, but it's pretty much inconsequential as we head over towards P5.
At the moment, Temp's wondering where that player went. I think he eventually got picked up by Jimbo, and Nasty's going to get taken down by Temp as well. And here comes the fight. It's always a messy hill for both these two teams. They're now going to just be throwing nades, stuns, and bullets through every single doorway as Afro gets the final kill. But no, that nade from Temp comes in and shuts him down. It will be the Ravens, though, first back into the board as they try to get Jimbo shuts him down. Zero gets the trade again. He's trying to get a push out at the same time. Movement comes through. John, Gizmo, trades everywhere. But somehow London are holding on to this with fingertips.
Oh, Gravity gets in an easy kill onto a very weak Gizmo, and it's just back and forth. Nobody able to get control.
Well, it's chaos in P5. Let's find out if it's chaos in the comms. Let's jump on board with a London listen in.
He's already new. Jimbo, no. He's right side you, Heard you.
I'm going to Eddie. I'm watching Eddie. Yo, I'm nading that God Heady. I'm
waiting ready, okay? Yeah.
Get God Heady one shot.
I'm nading God Heady. Wait for me.
So I'm on a deep pinch.
You, done. God Heady weak.
One's backside now, backside of hill.
He's switching now.
John, Trey, he dropped down low, okay?
That's on the back.
Shot on top, Trey, I think.
Okay, nade,
Just spawned on a nade.
Yeah,
I'm on church.
Nade dead. Out, mid. That's weaker.
And one time. One mid.
Might be, yeah, pinch, John.
You go?
No, he's got me, bro. He's still behind the block,
Give us one more push, and that's it.
I'm trying to go mid.
Hey, watch out, mid.
Didn't flash up on block. Mid, got me. You went out to left, Marcus, under church. Outside.
Yeah, ready?
Drop on the block.
Top, Jimbo. You got the ladder on you.
Nice.
Okay, let's go to new.
Back right side. Why aren't you playing that with me? One's back right. One's close to you, I'm pretty sure.
Pushing out comms. He could be church.
Oh, outside you.
Okay, comms.
I'm backing up my back.
Last person get Tom. I get you comms. Hold front.
Okay, fine.
Leave church. Leave fucking church. We're good. Have you comms now, okay?
You got plat?
Yeah, I have maps.
You have comms, yeah, fully?
Yeah.
Bomb church. On the back of me, Jimbo. One top church, I think there's two around the back, guys. I'm trying to help you back. Help. 3.
I netted it. Yeah.
Comes open. Hold him around for a
Give me L.
I have
I got you.
Let me go ram.
You want to pinch this? What's the team?
John, pushing you close,
You got me, Jonathan. Can you hit ram, Marcus? Yeah, John's close still. Pinch me, Jimbo, weak. Arch, coming ram.
John me,
John weak.
Ram got me.
Nading time, guys. Push up.
Well, maybe not a little bit of chaos in the comms, but maybe the first sign of a little bit of frustration for the London Royal Ravens. Not looking as clean as they would like it as Legion bust through in their breaking setup. And this is very much anyone's game time. It just never seems to be able to get a firm control of the game.
Yeah, honestly, there hasn't really been too much of either team locking down a good amount of time. They keep getting broke or out-rotated, and then vice versa. Temp is able to find a few on the transition over towards P3, but this time Ravens are able to look this one in. They didn't have that luxury last time. Can they hold the gunfights though? Yes, they can so far. There's 2 in a row. Can they find a third? Temp falls as Gizmo finds the gunfight. This is really good, expansive hardpoint play from the Ravens. They're forcing them away. They're getting their heavy hitters towards the front. Legion, though, stacking over towards outer.
Zero has to have a big play here. Look at the amount of Legion players just flooding through that hill. Zero not able to shut them down completely as they are just pre-aiming and pre-firing him here as well. John's about to flex that player mid-alley. The time's not going through from Gravity gets a number one. Legion are not letting him have the time here they wanted to. Eventually going to try and shut this one down. London get the bodies on board, and I say that, and Jimbo appears from nowhere.
Fight for the scrap, coming in. That's going to be Nasty picking up at the final 15. That's important specifically for the Ravens. They'll take them very close to that 200-point mark, which, what about this fight over towards the back, though? John gets caught out by Zero. Keep an eye on these spawns heading over towards P4, though. Not going to be influenced for the next couple of seconds until the Ravens players fall. But can they find a breakthrough?
And this is where it could get dangerous if Legion get another big hold here. Being Church is not going to be the easiest thing to do. Afro going for that famous side cancel. Just absolute destruction on the end of that MP40. John's up top, going to get it as well. John does get his teammate. He gets the hit marker for it.
Good
I think Afro wants reinforcements before he makes this move. They're trying to get a pinch in at the same time, and John says, no, thank you.
And just nobody from Ravens able to help him out there in that scenario. Eventually, they will find this break that does come on through. For a long time, it was just Legion forcing them away, but Ravens have broke through. 20 points on offer here as well. They got rotation over towards P5. Not a bad spot to be in if you are the London Royal Ravens.
Ravens firmly in the driving seat. They're game to lose at this point. They are going to lose Church control, but it's not Church that's really important with 5 seconds left onto it. We're heading over to P5. Astro will be the first man to come into a fight here. Sees Jimbo, guns him down as well. Holding down all of radio. Gonna know somebody's here. Temp will take him down. The door has been opened for the Legion, but getting into P5 is never going to be easy. The nades and stuns are raining through. Temp and Gravity managed to get two as well. Nasty managed to get two himself. Both teams flying in. John's going to go down to a nade from Jimbo, and Gravity has to throw bullets from his auto down as the Ravens come flooding through. They gain control here, Ton. And now Legion have to just put hot feet down. They have to get somewhere close.
Yeah, they have to try because Ravens can still win here. And nobody being really exclusive at where the bullets are going into there. It's just spray and pray for both teams. Team kills coming on through, but which kills are going to come this way for the Paris Legion? Are they going to be able to find a route through? Temp and Jimbo combining well. It's a 1v1 for a little bit of time. 15 seconds remaining. These will be huge for the Paris Legion, but Nasty and Co, they challenge for it because they know how close it's going to put them to the victory and forcing that map number 5.
Oh, Jimbo says thank you very much. No scrap time for you, and you don't get to rotate either. And now they move over to P1. Not an easy one to hold for both these two teams, but at the moment Paris do have the control. Zero versus Temp. Zero holds it. And that is going to allow his team to flood through here. Keep an eye though, Jimbo looking for the players coming through. Can he win that first gunfight? He has. Jimbo being influential. John getting another one at the same time. Gizmo flying out towards the top. And now technically a 1v1 into the hill here. It's going to be Gravity versus Gizmo, and Gizmo gives him the beat down. As both these two teams redraw the battle lines, and it will be Paris this time that have to go for it. They have to try and get these bodies into it at the same time. But Temp and Nasty just fighting it out on the hill. It's chaos again in the London game.
3 seconds.
With only 3 seconds left to go, surely this is not going to go the way of the Legion.
Can they find a breakthrough? No, they cannot. The London Royal Ravens bring it back. Paris Legion trying their best to compete in there, but I really want to highlight what happened towards the end there. You've seen Gizmo on the fattest, longest rap I've ever seen, all the way through maps, goes through comms or radio, gets top church, finds 2, breaks the hill, and finds 6 eventually during that life to lock down P1 for his team. Fantastic stuff out of Gizmo, fantastic stuff out of the Ravens, and that was a little bit more like it. 250 to 212. Just ultimately, I think it really does come down to a couple of the holds over towards P5. They did that on a couple of occasions. They got good time there and over towards P4. Those last 2 hills on the rotations for both times around for the Royal Ravens were very, very solid. And as we spoke about throughout that game, Prestinni, they were kind of trading back and forth. Nobody got a really good amount of time on any of the hills until those hills specifically. For this side of London, that gives them that little buffer. They break on through over towards P1. We've got a game 5.
Well, we're going to a game 5. The European showdown between the Paris Legion and the London Royal Ravens. It's a rivalry that started with the CDL and has continued on to this day, but nobody thought it would be this close. Anything could happen in our final S&D. We'll have to find out, though. We're going to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We will see you right after this.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and we have some beautiful highlights here. Gizmo going huge for his team to lock this one down, eventually for the Ravens to send this to a map number 5, and there we go. The last one as John gets gunned, but I've got to say, we didn't expect it to go this far, and I don't know who's going to win, Ton.
Yeah, it's really difficult considering how impressive the Search and Destroy was from the side of Paris Legion and map number 2. It was very, very comfortable outside of a phenomenal 1v4 from Nasty. But nonetheless, look, the reverse sweep is on for London. The momentum is with them, absolutely. But the Paris Legion, I think if you'd offered them a map number 5 against London, they'd have snapped your arm off. So heading into this one, it's a really good opportunity for Paris to continue what is somewhat of a resurgence. Or did they get reverse swept for the second time in a row?
I don't know if how to feel about a potential second reverse sweep for the Legion.
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't
bit
know.
tough.
It's hard. So the thing is, regardless of what happens now, if we're being perfectly honest, the Legion look better.
Oh yeah,
the Legion look better, and that is a scary thing because it's no longer a walkthrough. The scary thing is though, map 5s, London are 2-0 on it. This is a good map for them as well. Paris Legion, not so much the same case. Round 11's a little bit better though.
Yeah, if we do see a round 11, they'll be fancying themselves, absolutely. But, well, when it does come down to Pickage, anything is possible, Brycey. We both know that. Let's see how it's going to go here for the Paris Legion. And I think you're right. I think the whole theme for this series is they look better. London Royal Ravens would have been tall order at any time, but they have an opportunity here to do the Paris Legion. It's Royal Ravens on the attack first.
Well, a little bit slow. Both teams just trying to figure out exactly where to go here, and obviously will be the Ravens to make the first move. Paris Legion really haven't seen anyone yet, so they're going to be trying to figure out exactly what the distribution is. A couple of gunfights going down already. And it looks like John may be the player to deflect all of this pressure that eventually comes through. Our Ravens players all around him. Look at the patience from both teams, just not willing to give up that first blood.
Ravens looking for a mistake. Yeah, they were looking for a mistake in the first 40 seconds. They didn't get one. Paris Legion hold, but here comes the push.
John gets caught. John gets caught. And this opens it up for him now. Gravity going to try and make a play, but that door is shut. He's worried about his stairs. He's worried about everything coming through here at the same time as both teams swing into action. Jimbo eventually gets one back, though. Because we're going to find Gravity, who slow walks into the room.
Big fighter barn coming down in a second. If Jimbo can find this from behind, then that's huge. Oh my goodness me, 0.
Don't worry about using your gun. Just start throwing shoulders at people.
The first gunfight comes through. It's a simple kill, but he's just like, yeah, have this, son. Wallop.
The MB40 kills fast. My gun stock kills faster. And that's from the new, more aerodynamic tray, 0.
It's the Shotzzy haircut, mate.
Hey, he's been playing fantastic for the last couple of weeks as well. And they're really going to need him to just lock in laser focus right now. But it will be Paris Legion this time around. The Royal Ravens played it slow, and it paid out for them. Turns out the Legion are not going to do that. John's already smashed his way in. Afro's hit a flank. Not seen anyone yet, though. And Kemp is standing right next to him.
It's all on Afro to try and break something here because London really don't have a lot of control over anything. Afro will surely find the first kill on the Gravity. Yes, he does. And now has to be panic in the Legion camp as Afro's behind. Finds 2. Temp's able to answer back, but the trades should surely come on through for the Ravens. It's Temp left in a 1 versus 3. And that's all on Afro. Finds that little route through, and as soon as he finds one, if you're Paris, you go, oh no. Like, what do we do from this scenario? It's such a bad spot to be in. Somebody gets your flank and gets into Barn or Bocage on the defensive side. It's basically curtains at that stage.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Obviously, that was a play from Paris. They knew what they wanted to do. John went straight in, didn't find anyone, went straight for the plant. They're like, hey, we're good. There was a gap. There was a gap in the defense. Afro managed to slip through, and it broke down everything they had achieved. And you got to ask yourself, Paris probably won't be looking to make that mistake again. That is one for the VOD review. Now, London are moving forward once again. Will it be slow and steady or more aggressive this time? It's more aggressive. It's more aggressive. They're going straight in with players. And that bomb is going down fast again. There's been bullets thrown. A very first blood. Gizmo's managed to find Gravity. John is just going to try and throw bullets. Eventually goes down to Afro. Jimbo staying alive here, but players flooding at him as well. Temp again left, last alive. I think he's still a player there, or at least a hint of a jersey.
Yeah, good look at this one. My goodness. Gunfight comes on through, and it's won very, very quickly. Temp's just kind of... I mean, what can he do in that situation? You're locking down B, you're doing your job, but all your teammates get gunned over towards the other side of the map. That is just the unfortunate circumstance that comes with being that lone player over towards B. I think in that scenario, as soon as that hit comes on through, I think if it's Temp, you've got to try and maybe hit a flank or something like that, but it happened so quickly. I don't think Paris had a chance to respond.
Let's see, at the moment, we're on board with John. 0-3, so is Gravity. Struggling to find their feet into this one. It looks like another aggressive push, but John goes straight into it as well. Looking for Afro, who's more than equal to it. Already Jimbo going to fly out, though. Managed to get that back to a 3 versus 3. Tries to get out of there as bullets rain around him. And Paris Legion are going to have to take a breath at this point and try to figure out where they go next.
I mean, that's not so bad. You go in for that initial, you do lose that first blood, but you trade it out, and it's still a 3v3. I mean, all things said, for the Paris Legion, that didn't go as bad as it definitely could have, but look at this, the wolf packing for London Royal Ravens. Oh, Paris going to be ready for this one as this big flank comes on through. It's a 3-man as well. And just flipping sides of the map, that bomb's going to go down. These first gunfights are so influential. Can Temp lock it down? There's Afro. Can he find Nasty as well? No, it's a trade. 2v2.
Gravity's going to go down at the same time as well. It's now Jimbo laying down in wait. Just expecting a London push. They're trying to figure out where this last player is. Eventually, Jimbo moves. Still looking for him into the corner, and he's going to see him as well. And Nasty says, thank you very much. That's an easy kill for me. And it will be Ravens going 4-0 in the lead now.
They keep hitting. It's so many times, the Paris Legion. It's not working out for them. You're running into grandmas with Afro. I mean, literally, he is the epitome of a Bacage grandma's player. Like, I mean, don't run in there, bro. I mean, the guy's cracked. Like, it's just insane. Just keep feeding him those moments where he can take these close quarters, very quick gunfights, and he will continue to win them as well as the rest of the London Royal Ravens. Afro 6-3, 3-0 out of Nasty, 4-0 out of 0. It's pretty flawless so far.
I like it. Already Jimbo gets first blood this time around. Gizmo going to be looking for it. Chooses not to expose any part of his anatomy that could get taken off. That's the Gizmo getting it back already. How on earth have Legion let this one slip, though? Temps bring it back to a 2 versus 2. And that bomb is down at the moment. Could be anyone's game.
Oh, Gizmo down in tunnel. Wouldn't have expected him there whatsoever with Temp. And John win this gunfight, though. Yep, going to catch him just with a little bit of time in a 1v1. This is a big, big round for Legion. I mean, it's already looking not very pretty, but this 1v1 win for John will be massive. 0 gets it done. That's 5 in a row for Ravens. And they just cannot catch a break.
I can't sit here and just believe we are talking about another potential lead. Not even really a potential. It's almost locked on at this point. Reverse sweep again for the Legion. It's like 2 different teams as soon as we go to that first commercial break. Like, I don't know what's going on. They have not shown up here at the moment. Gravity is 0-5. John's 1-5. Temp and Jimbo have got some kills to their name, but they are just not got anything here. They need a monumental effort. 6 rounds of S&D on the row. Temp with first blood.
Yeah, and they really need this now. The full sale to try and bring it back. Well, you started off with a round win here, round number 6. Maybe you get things going. It's now a 1 versus 3 immediately. Gizmo makes it a 1 versus 2. And that's going to be it. Paris will get around underneath their belts. Last week, this was the final map as well, when it did come down to that reverse sweep that came on through for the Røkkr. It was a 6-3 victory. And for Legion, look, this is usually their ban. It hasn't necessarily been as concrete as of recent. Currently sitting a 0-1. It's looking like it's going to be a 0-2 after this one too, but you would think, I presume that's with Jimbo coming into the side. They think that they have that little bit of, you know, finesse when having these opening rounds, playing quickly, but it so far has not worked out.
This is looking like a big push coming through already. Jimbo has to pick one off. will be traded out by Nasty. Nasty's now going to try and stay alive, and Hart looking every single way. Don will take down his teammate. And the Ravens are on the back foot. Do we dare to dream for Paris? Obviously, still a long road left to go, to be fair, but they have control of this round at the moment.
Good shots from Gravity. This should make it 5-2. Just slowly chipping away at that lead for the London Royal Ravens. So is Nasty gonna pull off another 1v whatever. Not gonna happen this time. Paris Legion close it out. You know, it's just been a little bit better in terms of not heading head first into grannies every time. I said it just, you invite you invite Afro into that scenario. London Royal Ravens, when it comes to these big gun fights, comes down to the SMG players. I don't think anybody would put their money on Paris Legion to win that outright fight. Paris Legion for the first 4 or 5 rounds invited that. Since then, they've been slowing it down just a little bit, maybe trying to hit something a little bit different and getting away with it. But I mean, how many other ways is there to play Bacage S&D at the end of the day? It's not one to play slow and methodically, but they have to try and find a way to do so.
Well, right now, Legion are being slow and methodical. Oh, trying to look through the wood here, both teams. No first blood yet. This all goes quiet on Bacage.
Oh, that movement. This gives me going to smash out. Oh, it'll be so tempting. I know he's sitting there. He's like, I really just want to chill out with these double doors, but holding strong. As are the rest of the London Royal Ravens. This push is going to start coming through in a second. That's a big kill, though, as Temp was going to find 0. Good shots from John as well. Gizmo's going to be found, but Nasty's going to be able to answer back to 3v2.
Afro coming under pressure, and he's going to go down as well. Nasty. He had a 1v3 in the last S&D. Surely he's not got another one in the tank. There are players everywhere. They're looking for him as well. That's a triple challenge. Paris Legion get their 3rd in a row.
Well, give me that little bit of spark of life, Paris Legion. You can see the Ravens are a little bit concerned. Legion just playing it really slow, frustrating the side of the Royal Ravens. And I wonder if Ravens will just play this aggressively and not give Paris any choice but to engage them. Because the last 3 rounds, Paris have slowed it right down, waited for a pick, and then played their numbers. Will London force their hand?
Well, again, already I think Gizmo's been stunned there, so they know where he is. Jimbo is being aggressive here. Those doors are open mid-map. Just backpedaling a little bit, getting the numbers in the position they want it. John's going to open the window.
That's a cheeky angle. Anyway, nonetheless, they haven't spotted this push that's coming through. Nasty will get the bomb down.
John smashes up from the back windows. Looking through the gap in the door. And Paris Legion are going to have to execute. This is all going to go down very, very fast. Can Paris Legion stop it one more time? Pre-fire coming through at the same time. Both teams just flying around. Nasty gets the first.
Got a trade.
Fly out. It gets done by Afro. And Gravity's going to go down as well. And the Ravens will put them to bed. The Legions, for the 2nd time in a row, have been reverse swept. The Ravens stay on board and they are celebrating that win, London. That was a hard-fought victory and heartbreak for Paris.
How would you rather lose a game? In the typical fashion that the Paris Legion have been losing them in, with no hope. But it is indeed the hope that kills you if you're a Paris Legion fan in this one. 2-0 up, cruising. And then we head to Gavutu, and it's been all Ravens from there. 6-3 on map number 4. And just, again, a very, very good performance from them in the Search and Destroy. Paris Legion just could not keep up with these gunfights that happen over towards that A site. When they slowed it down, it works. But the fact that Ravens can then get in, plant that bomb, Legion have got to retake against a squad like this. And you see all 4 of them fall as quickly as their hopes of a map number 5 win comes on through. They all fall in round number 9. Big game. All the London Royal Ravens to bounce back there. It has to be said, you've got to give them credit, but also credit to the Legion. They did look better in that series, and that is a much better performance out of Jimbo. But at the same time, going up against the Ravens, everyone had them pegged to be beat 3-0. To bring it to a 3-2, they won't feel this right now, but it's not a terrible result from them. They are growing, they are getting better. But you need to stop getting reverse swept at the same time. I need to see more in maps 3, 4, and 5.
hey, they're no longer being beaten heavily. They just are enjoying a reverse win. They have the first 2 maps, and they're good with those. They don't need anything else at the moment, but
well, they do.
You are right. I've got to say, the Paris Legion highlights to me the fact that this team is not looking like a pushover for anybody.
Absolutely not.
Yes, there are some things they can still do, but Jimbo fully redeemed. That was a much better game out of him in every single sense of the word. Maybe just a little bit of first week jitters. The London Royal Ravens get what a lot of people were expecting to be an easy game for them, and it was certainly not an easy game at any point, apart from maybe the control, or give them the control. But other than that, difficult the whole way through.
Yeah, really difficult. And just looking over towards the stats we talk about, Jimbo, they're dropping a 0.91, you know, going up against Afro. That's kind of his one-on-one competitor to a certain degree. You kind of take that, if I'm honest with you. Not a bad result from him. It comes down to 9 kill difference to go on that positive side of things, but it's a vastly improved Jimbo, it has to be said. It couldn't have been much worse, and he really had a lot of room to grow into that better game, but it is a better game out of him, and overall a better series out of Paris Legion. Yes, they did get reserve first swept once more, but still there's signs of life there at least.
Yeah, there certainly is, I think, and it's something they can keep an eye on, but I'm more curious to see what our desk makes of this game and the Reverse Legion.
Say, hey, Paris almost had it, man. It slipped through their fingers. But the one big shout out we're gonna have to give is, hey, Jimbo showed up today, and Jimbo had fantastic moments. But there's another playmaker in the game that really caught our eye, and aLLeY. When it comes to one, only guess what? The man came back from overseas and popped off and had a beautiful streak.
And that's always worrying, right? Coming off of not being able to play with your team for a while and having some personal issues. He came back, not only played as consistent as he always does, but above that. In that hard point on that Tuscan, it almost felt a little bit like a replay of that Berlin, where Paris, should they have gotten the wipe and gotten full control on P1, they could have made the comeback, but it was Gizmo that had mid-map control. He finds 2 players, plays his life, expects the push from the left side, throws a stun, throws his nade, stops the initial hit from Paris Legion, finds another kill before going down, and the trades end up going in London's favor.
You got that right. And London definitely needed that spark in order to come back to this win. Beautiful reverse sweep. But speaking of whom, we actually have a Mountain Dew Game Field post-victory spotlight with the one and only Gizmo.
What's going on, Gizmo? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Like, I'm glad to be back with the boys. Like, I've missed it. I haven't played COD in 11 days. So I'm shooting extreme amount of wind right now, and my game sense ain't there yet, but glad to get a doubler.
You got to talk to me about that Nasty's ace and that search and destroy. I got to know what y'all were saying. Were you talking to him at all, or were you just kind of letting him do his game?
I mean, I was just mind blown that Marcus didn't get the trade, mate. So I was a bit pissed off of that. Oh, my bad. And then yeah, Byron's unreal, bro. Like he's been playing SD for years, mate. Like he's been the best like SD player in Europe for donkeys. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing to like out of the usual for him. He's just unreal.
Yeah, congratulations on the win and welcome back. I want to ask you, how did it feel like to be, you know, sort of on the sidelines watching these guys play? Were you able to learn some more things about the team? Like, what is that experience like?
I can't lie, with like the stuff going on at home, I didn't really watch much. I watched the games, but I tried to clear my head because obviously I had stuff going on at home. I still do. A big shout to like London ownership for allowing me to go home. That means the world to me. Like they put like the player first before the team, which obviously the boys still done good and got 2-0.
Absolutely.
But I turned into a massive fan for like the 2 games, and that's all I watched. Literally, all I watched all weekend. Yeah, the boys unreal, bro. Like even without me, they went 2-0. It beat LAVs. Like they're fucking incredible. That's not.
You guys are playing great, man.
No, definitely. All right, Gizmo, last one up, man. So, basically, you guys are in the top 3 for the CDL. You guys, you know, you came in as underdogs this year. You're beasting everybody you all go against. You surprise us every single day, and it's to the point where it's expected, right? But my question to you is, how does it feel, man, to be competing against OpTic in Atlanta for that top 3 spot? It's got to feel good this year.
Yeah. I mean, that felt like competing to win is a different feeling than just competing in general, because like you have like a goal. That's unreal. Obviously, I still like. I'm even being like honest. We still need to catch up to those 2 teams. They're just like they're that next level. But we've got the talent. We've got the work ethic. But obviously, we haven't played in 11 days. But we'll be there. Come end of the year, champs time, we should win.
You better be, man. Hey, Gizmo, love watching you guys win. Hope you have a great day, and it's good to have you back.
Thank you. You too.
Oh, no problem. Now, Nameless, another player on London that actually popped off in a big way, okay? So Nasty started off the whole series, kind of slow. He wasn't the Nasty that we're used to seeing this year, but the Scump play the game shows Nasty with that insane clutch and search and destroy.
Brother, this guy, I mean, that play was just absolutely insane. Like, the guy just does stuff that you just don't see. So he comes out, obviously he gets a snipe right here. He goes over and he shoots him through the wall. Like he saw his gun like through the wood there, gets the kill, and then he knows the other player's probably gonna be mid somewhere, maybe watching that player's flank, and he jumps up here, it's Temp, and he wins the big gunfight here. I actually thought for a second Temp was gonna hit some nice shots, but Nasty said nope, and then he goes over and gets the defuse. I mean, all 3 of those kills are just pure talent. He turns the corner on a guy who's pre-aiming the corner, wins the gunfight, guns the next one up top through wall, and then guns Temp for the win.
Yeah.
Nasty, nasty, baby.
That first night was filthy. All right, so Nameless, let's just put a bow on this series right now. Paris got reverse swept once again.
Back to back.
Back to back. But we do have to say this, though. We do have to say this. The first time around, yeah, Jimbo wasn't playing his best. This time around, they actually looked a lot better matching up with London, even though it did slip from their hands. Yeah,
they had some better moments. Jimbo obviously had a way better series, and I think this series shows why they believed in him and brought him in. Yeah. I mean, he had to prove it to all of us and everybody watching, and he did in that series. An aggressive SMG can change the dynamic on the Paris roster, right? And that's what he did in this game. He was aggressive and he was winning his ones. They had way more teamwork on their breaks. I mean, even on Tuscan, they had some wonderful breaks, like P1 to P2, and then stopping the time onto P3 on that second rotation. That was a nice flurry of kills and rotations for Paris Legion that, honestly, we haven't seen so far in this game. So I think Paris is getting better. And if he can stay consistent, we can see John and Temp have those pop-off games, because when he's aggressive and he wins that entry kill, it allowed John to pop off on that Berlin. It allowed Temp to pop off on that Berlin. So Hardpoint could be their better game mode going forward.
Oh, you got that right. Hopefully so, because we see teams like Florida starting to, rack up a lot of wins here before the Major II qualifier. Hopefully Paris is the next team up. But ladies and gentlemen, with the Major II coming underway, I hope to see all of you guys there, seriously, because you guys heard it from all of us all month long. Major 1 was phenomenal, but when I see you at Major 2, you guys better be coming with some drip, and what I mean by that, make sure you all go to the store, get your favorite apparel from your favorite teams. You saw the green wall showed off in Texas. When I go to Minnesota, it better be the same case. But ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, okay. Now, if this one turns out to be an upset, it's going to be absolutely nuts, okay? We have Seattle Surge taking on OpTic Texas, and if you watched last week, Seattle Surge were able to pull out a big win against Atlanta FaZe. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break to continue on with some more CDL action.